All right, folks, this is R Jones for the R Jones Prespective. I'm sitting here today with the young, lovely Miss Melissa Emily Mitchell. She's an up-and-coming poet. Her first book, which she just released, a book of love poems called Come Into My Place. How are you doing today, Miss Mitchell?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
All right, so far. Melissa Mitchell just had her book signing party. It was a wonderful event at the Gallery Bar downtown in Manhattan here. You had a lot of love, a lot of supporters out there. I mean, were you overwhelmed by all that?
I definitely was overwhelmed. I was very pleased and happy that everyone came out to support me. It really meant a lot.
Okay. I just wanted to ask you a few questions. How did you get started in your journey towards having your book published and everything like that? Where did you just start it all out?
I like to say that it began at the age of 14, which is when I started keeping a diary, daily entries. I would write, how I was feeling, what happened to me. My dad passed away when I was 14, so that was an event that took place in my life that I always wrote about. Love interest, just things that go on in a 14-year-old's life at that time. But over time, as my life and love experiences intensified, that's when I really began to write more passionately about what I was going through, and those writings eventually turned into poetry.
Okay. How did you get from that to like the moment where you're at now, in which you had a book signing party, which was wonderful. You obviously got the new book. How did that transpire?
Okay, well, Nina Elcock is a very, very close friend of mine. She was someone who was my eyes and ears. She always looked out for me, and she influenced me a lot. I would always go to Nina, confide in her, and ask her what she thought of my poems, what she thought of my thoughts, and she was the one who actually said to me, "Look, Melissa, you need to do something with this other than what you're doing. You need to take this and let the world see how you're feeling, because this is the material is great." She really understood what I was trying to say, and it was more. What started out as therapy became something so much more. So 2005, the book was copywritten. Several years later, I decided that I wanted to go ahead and make this happen. 2005, I wanted it copywritten and published, but things just weren't quite right. So I wanted to make sure that everything was to perfection, and here we are. May 2011, my book was released, and it's doing great.
It's a shame that it took like 6 years to have that done, so to speak.
I think it was worth it. I think that anything that you do, and something that's close to you and that you love so much, you just want it to be perfect. You want to make sure that every aspect of what you're doing is to your liking. And I'd rather sit back and wait and, get everything done to perfection than just get it done and it not be what I really want. So.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you also, who are some of your influences? Perhaps some of your favorites,
Okay. Well, my number one inspiration and influence would be my experiences, my life experiences, my love experiences. All those experiences have channeled into my work, and as a result, I have a book. But if I had to choose some poets that have influenced me and made me say, what I love their work. I adore their work, and there's something about them that intrigues me. I'd have to say Asha Bandalay, Nikki Giovanni, Sonia Sanchez, Maya Angelou, the list goes on. Tupac Shakur, the late Tupac Shakur. There are numerous poets who have inspired me along the way in my journey in poetry.
We spoke a little bit beforehand. You were really busy, but poetry is not all this young lady does. She is multi-talented. Would you care to explain to the audience what other endeavors that you're going to be not only getting into, but I'm pretty sure you'll be taking over?
I hope so. Well, again, I love writing. I'd love to incorporate that in anything that I'm doing. My next event, I'll still be doing book signings. I'll still eventually do a book tour. But outside of my books, I'd like to organize a 2012 calendar, as well as starting a greeting card line, and maybe eventually getting into songwriting. Who knows? The sky's the limit.
You got that right. You see that, fellas? I mean, if she's a single young lady, which I believe she is, you better do something about that. No, but on a serious note, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of young people out there, you know, that would like to get into poetry, but they just don't know how. They lack direction, so to speak. Is there any advice you can give to the young poets that want to perhaps get to your level?
Be yourself. Be yourself. Be who you are. Your experiences will speak for themselves, and as long as you're true to yourself and you can channel that into whatever you do, art, music, poetry, whatever, you'll be successful. And don't give up. You know, constantly persevere, and whatever your dream is, just on a daily, just make sure that you say to yourself, look, this is what I want, this is what I do. I always used to write my goals down, and look at them on a daily basis to make sure that I'm moving towards my goal. So just be who you are, and just, you know, persevere. Those are my two inspirational quotes.
Definitely. Well, listen, folks, first of all, I want to thank this young lady, Melissa Emily Mitchell. Like I said, up-and-coming poet. I really suggest that you pick up her book of love poems. It's called Come Into My Place. I mean, I really think it's going to be big, to tell you honestly. That's my hope anyway. And Melissa, I want to thank you again for being here, all right?
Sure. It was my pleasure. Thank you. And pick up the book. It's at barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com, authorhouse.com, and soon to be on my website, www.melissaemilymitchell.com. Thank you.
All right, thanks again.
A love anthem. Let me stroke you like the morning breeze on a warm summer day. Underneath the tree, let that be our hideaway. We can talk about the moon, we can talk about the stars, we can talk about our past and how we've become who we are. I want to rock your mind and make love to your soul all night long. I want to cuddle with your intellect, and I'll return the warmth with my intelligence. Let's explode with honesty and integrity, and end the love session with sincerity. I want to rock your mind and make love to your soul all night long. I want to caress your sensitiveness, and as I listen to your story, let you know you are not alone. Let's have a mental love session. You bring the honesty, and I'll bring the truth. Together, we can slowly make melodies of true love.